Okay, we are on Chav Gimel on the base. Morning, Dr. Navid. We hope
Rabbi.
we hope you're preparing a nice speech for Wednesday night, Dr. Navid.
I don't know about that. We have great speakers in the audience,
Okay,
in the class.
the more humble you are, the better speaker you are. You heard that, Dr. Navid? Great sign. Okay, good morning, Yehuda. 23B. Two on the bottom of the page. Amar Yeshua ben Levi. Yeshua Gufa. Amar Yeshua ben Levi. Levi said the following. Shlosha Dvarim. You have it, Mr. Tafdi? Shlosha Dvarim that were instituted by the Bezdin Shamata. The scheme of Bezdin. There were three things that were instituted by the Bezdin Shamata. The Bezdin down over here. And the scheme of Bezdin. Good morning, Yosef Tzadik. And the Bezdin. And the Heavenly Bezdin agreed with these three enactments that were down here. The enactment to read a Megillah, the Chachamim, the rabbis, Anshe Knesset Agdol mitzvah, the rabbinic mitzvah, and they were very happy to see that the Bezdin upstairs, they were very happy with this enactment, because the rabbis were a little bit concerned that maybe it has some looks like we're adding to the Torah, and you're not allowed to add to the Torah. So like the Minchas Chinuch says, as long as you say that this is a rabbinic mitzvah, you're not, if you say a new mitzvah on your own, say this is a mitzvah minat Torah when it's not minat Torah, that's you're adding to the Torah. But if you say this is a rabbinic mitzvah, then it's not called adding to the Torah. You just said this is a rabbinic mitzvah. The Torah gave the rabbis that power. So Mikra Megillah, reading the Megillah, Shevet Shalom, b'shem, greeting a friend with the name of Hashem. That like that you go ahead when you say Shalom Aleichem, or you go ahead and you would say actually Hashem's name. You would actually say Hashem's name when you would greet a friend. The Rivon brings two pshatim, either that you're allowed to do it. The chiddush is that it's not called a lack of respect for Hashem's name when you go say hello to somebody. When you're praying and you're saying Hashem's name, you understand it's appropriate. I should say hello Yehuda, and I say Hashem. I greet you with Hashem's name. Hashem be God be with you, or something like that. And so is that called appropriate and inappropriate? Is it called I'm using Hashem's name, just loosely? I just say, hey Adam, and I say, hey God be with you, Adam, and I just Hashem say. That's some say it's an allowance, and something actually they wanted you to greet a person with Hashem's name. We want you to give that honor to a person to greet him with the name of Hashem. Right. And the Rivon says when we ask the welfare of someone, we say Shalom Aleichem, because Shalom, like you said, Shalom is the name of Hashem. So said really when you say Shalom Aleichem, Shabbat Shalom. I don't think people focus in and realize that you're really tapping into mentioning Hashem's name. You're giving him a blessing. It's a much more powerful blessing when you bless someone with the name of God than just bless someone just good morning, peace. But you say peace, shalom. That's big. The Gemara says, what else? The Gemara says that was also that they agreed to. Let me just see the language inside. Vavos Maisa, and bringing Maisa. What does that mean? Bringing Maisa. The rabbis made in the Beis Hamikdash. So Rashi is going to explain. The Rivon is going to explain. Ezra gave a knas. He fined the Levium because the Levium did not go up to Eretz Yisrael in mass with Ezra. To build the second Beis Hamikdash. And therefore he said that you bring the Maisa to the storage house, to the treasury of the Beis Hamikdash, and the Kohanim and the Levium equally got from the Maisa Rishon. Even though Maisa Rishon is supposed to go to who? The Levi. But there was Ezra fined them that it only should go to, that it should be equally distributed to the Levium and the Kohanim. And also, we find similarly, Cheskiyah also gave a certain, King Cheskiyah also gave a certain fine also to the Levium, because he said, bring your master Rishon, bring it to the Beis HaMikdash, and he did not want to give it to the Levium. He didn't want the Levium to get it straight because they were worshiping Avodah Zarah, and therefore he also made certain enactments regarding the Maisa that it didn't go straight to Levium. So and the Bezdin Shamayla and the Bezdin Shamayla upstairs in heaven agreed to that enactment. Mikra, even though it's a very controversial thing, not giving it to Levium when it's supposed to go to Levium. Mikra Megillah Diksiv Kimo V'Kiba Yehudim. How do you like that? Mikra Megillah. It says Kimo V'Kiba Yehudim. So Kimu. See, the question is, what's the Kimu and Kiblu? Just say Kimu. Just say Kiblu Hayudim. They accepted upon themselves. What's the Kimu V'Kiblu? Kimu Maila, upstairs in heaven, they accepted. They were happy with Masha Kiblu Mata. What they accepted upon themselves down here. Meaning the people who wrote the Megillah knew Beruach HaKodesh. They knew it was appropriate to write the Megillah and to obligate the people to read the Megillah, because they knew also that the heavenly Lamaila upstairs in heaven, they were happy with such an enactment. Sheila Shalom, and to agree with the name of Hashem, the Ksiv, V'hine Boaz ba Beis Lechem. Boaz came from Beis Lechem. Vayomer LaKotzim, and what did he say to the people who were cutting the wheat? Hashem imochem, God with you, be with you. Meaning, he said, he blessed them, greeted them with the name of Hashem. The Omer, and we have another pasuk in Shoftim when the angel revealed to Gidon, the great shofet Gidon, when he asked about his well-being, he said, Hashem imcha, Hashem with you, be with you. So we see that you greet with the name of Hashem. Ma'av Omer. We need to bring another proof besides Boaz. Why isn't it? Why do you need to prove? Why isn't the proof of Boaz sufficient? Why have to prove from Gidon? The Gemara says, Boaz hu David midaitei. Maybe you might think that Boaz made his enactment on his own. You might think that the heavenly court wasn't happy with Boaz's enactment. Tashma, we have proof from the pasuk, but Omer, that we find Hashem Gibachaya. So we see that the fact that the angel refers to, talks to greets Gidon with the name of Hashem, shows you that this is acceptable, this is appropriate. Morning, Ilya. So now the Gemara says, how do you know Havos Maaseh? How do you know that the heavenly court was happy with this enactment that Ezra made, that to find the Leviim, that it doesn't just go straight to Maaseh, we should just go straight to Leviim? The Ksiv, Haviu is called Maaseh El Beis HaOsah. Pasuk says in Malachi, bring the Maaseh to the storage house. Call her Maaseh where? Instead, doesn't they give it to the Leviim? Bring it to the Beis HaMikdash, the Teref, the Beiti. And that will be food in my house for the Kohanim, for the Leviim. So we see here clearly, now Malachi is a Navi. Sorry, he's a Navi. Since he's a Navi, he's doing it, this is the name of Hashem. So we see that it's B'chanuni Nabezos. And Hashem spoke. Then Hashem says, you could test me. Im lo eftach lechem arubat test me. When I tell you to bring the Maaseh, if you give the Maaseh, you can test me. You'll see if I will not open up the heavens of the windows of the heavens and bring down to you tremendous blessing until there'll be belidai. What does that mean, belidai? So again, so here it's clearly that the pasuk bring the Maaseh to the Beis HaOsah. What do you bring it to the Beis HaOsah? What do you bring it to the Beis HaMikdash? Because in the Beit HaMikdash, the Maaseh will be distributed evenly between the Kohanim and Leviim, even though it's supposed to go just to the Levi. So we see the heavens more happy that this is appropriate, that you should go ahead and give it to find them, and not shouldn't just go to the Leviim. What does it mean they're going to give a bracha ad bilidai? Rav, the blessing will be so much that I have no more room. I'm going to be constantly saying to Hashem, it's enough, I have no space. And you're going to be weary, you're going to be tired from saying, I have enough. That's how much the blessing will be. You imagine such a blessing, Ilya? There's so much that you're getting. You have, Hashem, please, it's enough. Hashem, it's enough. And you're going to be tired from saying it so many times. The Asher Yivlu, your lips will be tired from Melomadai for saying, I have enough, I have enough. It's something similar to what we said before, Hashem showing his happiness. Here we have Ruach HaKodesh. We have 3 places that was revealed the Ruach HaKodesh to show, good morning, Nathan. Welcome. To show the righteousness of the tzaddik. There were 3 places Nathan walks in. The 3 places that Ruach HaKodesh was shown, Hashem showed the Heavenly Spirit to show that this tzaddik, that he was a really righteous person. The Bezdin of shame, the Bezdin of shame. The Bezdin, as you know, Shem was one of the sons of Noah. The Bezdin shel Shmuel HaRamati, and the Bezdin of Shmuel, the Bezdin of Shlomo HaMelech. So you're able to see that the tzaddik was correct. What does it say? What is the story in these 3 stories? So the Gemara says we are now on 23b, 3. No, maybe 4. 23b, 4. On the left side of the page. You got it? 23b, 4. One of these stories, amazing stories. Bezdin shel Shem, the Bezdin of Shem, the court of Shem, B'ksiv. Yehuda, when Yehuda said that Tamar had dressed up as a Zonah, and Yehuda had relations with her. And then Yehuda heard that she had relations. She came to the court, and Yehuda said she has to get killed, and she has to be killed for having relations. She was supposed to do yibum with. She was supposed to, to the younger brother, the third brother. 2 brothers had died. She was supposed to marry the third brother, and Yehuda did not give the son yet to her, and she went ahead and she had this relationship with somebody else, and they paskin that she's supposed to be killed, and then she said, whoever, and then she showed the signet ring, and she said, whoever the stick, and she said, whoever this belonged to, that's who made me pregnant. Yehuda admitted it was me who made her pregnant. But Yehuda recognized the stick and the robe, and Vayoma Satka Mimeni. She said, Tamar she's right. Mimeni, from me, she became pregnant from me. The Gemara said, how did Yehuda know that she became pregnant from her? Even though the signet ring and the stick belonged to him, the robe belonged to him, maybe the same way he had relations with her, maybe another man had, because she looked like, meaning to him, she dressed up like a prostitute. So how did he know that that he's the father of these children? So the Gemara said, Sheyotze Baskol. The reason is a baskol came out, a heavenly voice came out. This came from me. Sadka mimeni. Who said the mimeni? A heavenly voice said that this is my divine plan. That Hashem wanted that the Jewish king should come out from Tamar. And why did he want that the Jewish king should come out from Tamar? The Rashi says one shot is because she was modest. She was a tznuah. She was modest in the house of her father-in-law. Therefore, because of the power of modesty of the woman, she's deserving of what? You hear that, everybody? She's deserving of what? The kingship of the Jewish community. Who should be the kings? Your mother, the grandmother, the great grandmother. You should come from a woman who was modest, and that's one shan, and that's the many. The Bezdin shel Shmuel, Where do we find the heavenly voice that Hashem showed there by Bezra Shmuel? The Ksiv. Shmuel says that when he was giving over the leadership to Shaul HaMelech, he turned to the Jewish people and said, Hinni, Anu bi neged Hashem. I want you to testify here in front of Hashem, neged Mishicho, in front of Shaul. I want anybody, as show me lakachti, did I ever take any ox that belongs to anybody? Did I ever take any donkey that belongs to anybody? Did anybody steal from anybody? And Vayomru, and they responded, Lo ashaktanu, lo rasasanu. You did not. You never took anything that didn't belong to you. Vayomer, and Shmuel said, Eid Hashem, the Eid Mashiach. I want Hashem to be the witness, and I want Shaul to be the witness. Ki lo motzatem biyadi mumat. You didn't find anything from me. Everything that I have belongs to me. I didn't take anything throughout my leadership years as your shofet. Nothing was. I have nothing in my possession. That, what do you call it? Transparency. You call it openness and honesty. I have nothing that belongs to you guys. Vayomer, and he said, "Hey." Now, so the Gemara says, Vayomer, Vayomu, they, the Jewish community, in the pure plural. The Gemara says, Yotza bat kol v'amra, a heavenly voice said, Ani, I God, Eid b'davar zeh. I God am testifying that Shmuel, everything that he has belongs to him. He didn't take anything from the people, doesn't belong to him. He didn't get any of these cutbacks, paybacks, or whatever, these deals, briberies as a leader, like what goes on in the political establishment today. In the Bezin of Shlomo, the Ksiv, the famous story with the two women were in the same house, and they gave birth to, each one gave birth to a baby boy. Morning, and what happened was one baby died, and the other. So what did one mother do? One mother who the baby died in the middle of the night, she went in and she gave the dead baby to the other woman, and she took the live baby from the other woman. And then comes the morning, the mother says, "It's not my child. The live child, the dead." She looks at the dead baby. It's not my. This not my baby. And the other baby's my baby. And the other lady says, "No, this is my baby. What do you?" They come to Shlomo. What does Shlomo say? Shlomo says, "Let's take the baby. We'll chop the baby in half." So the mother said, the real mother says, "Give it to the other lady. She doesn't want her child to die." And the other lady says, "No, leave it as is." So Shlomo Hamel says, the true mother is the mother that says, who said, give the live baby to the other woman instead of having the baby cut, split in half. So the Gemara said that Bezin Shel Shlomo, the Ksif, when Shlomo made that judgment, Vayan HaMelech, the king says, Vayomer, Tanu la et hayolud hachai, give her the live baby, v'hamed lo timitilu. Don't kill the baby. Shlomo Melech never meant to kill the baby. It was just a way to see who's gonna talk up. So there was Minayada. How did Shlomo know that the woman who really had the Rachmana, the mercy, is the real mother? Maybe she understood what Shlomo was saying, and therefore she made believe as if she's having mercy on the, what do you call that? That psychology, reverse psychology. She knew that Shlomo wanted to see who's going to talk up. So she said, "Okay, no, don't kill him. Give it to the other lady." How did he know? Yotze bat kol v'amra. You have to say there was a bat kol. There was a heavenly voice and said, "He imo." She is the mother. Okay. So Rava says, how do you know? How do you know there was a heavenly voice that came out in these cases? Dilma Yehuda, maybe Yehuda, even the Chashav Yachei b'yomei. He counted the months and the days since he was with this woman, with Tamar, with Rami. Because listen, he knows this is his stuff. So he knows he had relations with her. The only question was, is she pregnant from someone else or from him? And with Rameh, and maybe it happened that based on his calculations, it makes sense that she's pregnant from me, because the chazina machaskina, what you see, that's what you base. I only see that she's pregnant, and I know she's pregnant, and I know the guy who knows he was with her. It's exactly the count that makes sense that it's 3 months. After 3 months, after 3 months, it's noticeable. I mean, not always so much, but that's basic. So, and he says it's the amount of time that it's exactly. So what I see, I that's how I base my thing on the luchazina, lo machzkina. Something that I don't see. I don't start saying, maybe there was someone else that she became pregnant with someone else. Yehuda knows he was with her 3 months ago, over 3 months ago. She's pregnant now, so that's why he says it has to. He says it's from me. So if it's no proof that there was a heavenly voice, the Gemara said Shmuel Nami, Shmuel Kuli Yisrael Karilo. Israel, you could call the whole Israel in a singular language. Even though it's many people, but many people could be referred to as one if it's a group, unity. So Kuli Yisrael Karilo, the pasuk sometimes refers to the whole Jewish community in a singular language, in a single language. Ksiv Yisrael Nosha B'Hashem. Yisrael Nosha B'Hashem. So it says Yisrael Nosha B'Hashem. And it doesn't say no shi'im. It doesn't say that they're saved by Hashem. Good morning, Mr. Silverman. But what does it say? Good morning. It says no sha, singular. So we see that the whole Jewish people could be referred to in a singular form. Shlomo Nami. Maybe Shlomo, how do we know? Shlomo Nami, maybe we're on Chav Gimel Amid Beis, 23b. Maybe 5 in the article. Shlomo maybe knows by the fact that if this woman had mercy, the other woman didn't have mercy. Well, probably this is the real mother who had mercy, who said, "Give the baby to the other woman." Ella the Gemara says there's no proof that from the psukim, from the stories, there's no proof that a heavenly voice. You can't say it had to be a heavenly voice based on the case. But rather, Ela Gemara, there's a tradition that we have that from generation to generation that says in these 3 cases there was a heavenly voice that came down and said that that agreed with the 3 different that said that she's the mother and that the Shlomo story and so on.
It spread around the world, Rabbi. He became known from that.
Right, yes. Shlomo's wisdom became known after that story. So the Gemara says, "Darash of Simloi, Sheish Meos v'Shlosh Esim Mitzvot." Never Moshe Messinai. There's 613 mitzvot that were said to Moshe Messinai. Now, Shlosh Meot v'Shishim. Now, there's an amazing Gemara coming out. But listen to this: 613 mitzvot. How many don'ts of the Torah? 365. How many do's of the Torah? 248. Now, do you think it's not a random number? 365 don'ts, 248 do's of the Torah? It's because there's 365 calendar days of a solar year, and every day of the year is telling you, don't violate the Torah. The 365 don'ts of the Torah, don't do this, don't do that. That's each day is corresponding to those. Now, I wanted to say the following. It says Hashem looked at the Torah and He created the world. Maybe what came first, what came second. Because there was 365 don'ts of the Torah, therefore there's 365 days of the year. So each day should remind you, don't violate that mitzvah. And similarly, what came first, the person or the Torah? The Torah. So since the Torah is going to have 248 248 mitzvahs that say, mitzvahs that you need to do, you know what happened? Hashem created you with 248 limbs. So each limb is telling you, keep the Torah, do the mitzvah, come put on tefillin, come put on talit. What? It says that the Torah, even the Torah was given later, but the Torah was Hashem had the Torah already. His takelba right there. The Cooper was he looked in the Torah and he created the world. Okay, these are deep concepts, whatever that means. In Shemayim, heaven, there was the Torah there. So the Gemara says that's Darash of Simloi. Sheish Meot v'Shlosh Esei Mitzvot Nezel Moshe Messinai. Shlosh Meot v'Shishim v'Chamisha Lavim. 365 don'ts. K'minyan Yemot HaChama, like the days of the year of the sun. U'matayim Arba Shmona 248 do's of the Torah. Keneged Evorav Shalodam, correspond to the limbs of a person's body. Every limb is announcing to you, do the will of your Creator. That's what every limb is telling you. And also, you should know we also say, Sagidim. The Sagidim is also the 365 Gidim. Those are the sinews that connect, different parts of your body. They're also 365. They're also.
We say it in Kriyat Shema Shel Amita.
Yes, and you say that these 365 are, they're there to remind you that there's 365 don'ts of the Torah. Amar Rav Humnuna, Mikra, where is the pasuk that tells us the 613 mitzvot of the Torah? Torah tziva lanu Moshe morasha kilat Yaakov. Torah, the gematria. What's in the letters of Torah equals 611. Torah is tough is 400, Reish is 200, is 600, Vav is 6, and Hey is 5. 611, and they heard two of the 10 commandments directly from Hashem. But after the first 2 commandments, they said, "We too much for us. We can't handle it anymore." So the Gemara says, so Torah gematria. Sheish now on Chaf Dalan Manal 24a. Torah's Gematria Shit Neya veChet Asari 611, and Anochi v'Lo Yilecha, and the first 2 of the 10 commandments they heard me Pi Agvura Shemon. They heard that from Hashem. So that's the 613. So Torah Sivalana Moshe was 611. That was the Torah that he told us directly from Hashem to tell us, and Hashem himself we heard 2 of the 613. But David, now we're going to have a very fascinating Gemara now, everybody. We just said the 613 mitzvot of the Torah, right, Adam? Now comes David HaMelech, and he says, you know what? He puts them. He made 11. Now, what does it mean? He made 11. So some commentators say, and this is how I would understand it, is he said you have to focus in order to keep the 613 mitzvot. He saw that the generation couldn't focus the total focus on each and every mitzvah in the way the focus it needed. So he said, you know what? I want you're going to do all the mitzvot, but I want you to focus on these 11. And if you focus on these 11, that's going to help you be able to keep all the mitzvot of the Torah. If you're going to perfect this following 11, this is going to be a key to make it, to do all 613. Sometimes, how do you get to the goal line? So there's different ways to get to the goal line.
Sometimes 1 yard at a time.
sometimes you rush the ball, right? There's different ways to get to the goal line. So maybe the goal line has to keep the 613 mitzvot. David saw that, we got to we need to try to figure out how to help the people make it there. So he said, you know what, let's focus on these 11. Okay, we have 613 mitzvot, we got to do all 613, but if you focus on these 11, that's going to help you, enable you to be successful to keep 613. Now, what is the 611? The 11. But David Mizmah David, a very famous mizmah, very powerful mizmah. Who's going to make it in your holy place? Who's going to make it to heaven, so to speak? Who's going to make it to Olam Haba? Who's going to make it to be in that place, in the holy place? Who's going to dwell there? Someone who goes with tamimut. Someone who's tamim, who's sincere, who does things, who's perfect in his ways. We'll see what that means exactly. It's soon coming up. Pol tzedek, his actions are righteous. He's straight and honest. Dove emes, even his heart, he talks the truth. L'roga l'shono. By the way, this is what they sometimes say at a funeral. By the way, sometimes at a funeral they read this chapter of Tehillim, like Mizmah David. Who's going to go who's going to go dwell in a high place in heaven in Olam Haba? Someone who was this type of person, lived this type of life, right? He didn't speak bad about his fellow Jew. He didn't hurt anybody. Some translated that if his relative was acting inappropriately, he helped him. He gave him musa to help him grow as a Jew. Something that was disgusting in the eyes of Hashem was disgusting in his eyes. We'll see about that. This Yirei Hashem Yechabei, and a God-fearing person he would give honor to. Nishba halara, if he swore about doing something that was not so good for him. Let's say he swore that he's going to fast, or whatever he said that might not, it's not an easy thing to fast, but he kept whatever he swore. He didn't change what he says. He didn't give his money with interest. We're gonna see how the Gemara is gonna what the Gemara is gonna talk about that. And he did not take any bribes for someone who's innocent. He didn't take a bribe. Someone who lives such a life will never falter, and he'll always. Some say it means that even if he made mistakes, even if he fell, he'll get back up. But he'll never fall. He'll be there. He'll have Tchiyat HaMeitim. He'll have Olam Haba. Holech Tamim. Who's Holech Tamim? Who's the man? What say? Noach and also Abraham. So the Gemara says Abraham. So you have to focus to be like Abraham. Be like an Abraham. That was one of the first one that David HaMelech says, be like Abraham. Now, what does it mean to be like Abraham? Abraham is Tamim. So what does it mean to be Tamim? To be, when you do the mitzvot, you do it with the right mindset, like Abraham, the Shem Shemayim. And also Abraham, Hashem says that you have questions, don't have. Hashem says it, don't question God. Abraham, Hashem says to Abraham, Yitzchak will be your son, and that will be your legacy. And then afterwards, Hashem says, take Yitzchak and slaughter him. Abraham said, God, that's what you want? I follow what you say. I don't ask questions. I don't question. I don't doubt you. Yeah, that's the Tamimut. That is the type of person of Abraham. So emulate Abraham. Now, if you emulate Abraham, you're that type of faith that you have, and that you do things in such a way, l'shem shemayim, that's gonna bring you to a lot of great things in Judaism. Tol Tzedek, be a person that called Abba Chilkiyahu. Abba Chilkiyahu, he said when he was working by somebody, if someone would say Shalom Aleichem, he would not respond. You know why not respond? Because he didn't want to take away time from his employer. That's how honest he was. I'm working for someone. I'm someone else's time. I can't take a call at this time. I'm working for Nathan. I can't take a call. I have a boss. I'm stealing from the boss. Of course, you can take a call if it's normal, it's acceptable. But anything that's more than acceptable is not allowed. But he even went above. He went more, I presume this was more than the norm, not to respond because of his sensitivity. And I think, again, if you're going to be that type of person, you're going to be so careful not to, be like this. You're going to be so careful not to injure someone else, not to hurt someone else, not to. If you're sensitive, so this is all going to bring you to fulfill many mitzvot Torah, like what the Gemara says. So many mitzvot are just, if you perfect your love for a fellow Jew, you're not going to hurt him, you're not going to fight with him, you're not going to hit him, so many of those mitzvot will just follow. Listen, Rav Safra, he was in the middle of saying the Shema, and a guy came over to him, and he said, you know what, I want to buy something from you. I know you're selling something. And the guy said, I'll give you $100. Rav Safra didn't respond. But Rav Safra would accept $100. But Rav Safra didn't respond. The guy didn't know because you didn't respond because you're in the middle of the Shema. So the guy thought that you don't respond because you're not accepting the price. He said, I'll give you 200. Now Rav Safra finishes the Shema, says, I'm only charging you 100. Why? Because I would accept 100. And I didn't respond to you because I was in the middle of the Shema. Now tell me, is there any such halacha like that? That if you thought you would be happy to give 100, sell for 100, but you didn't say you're going to sell for 100. Now you go ahead and now at the afterward, now you could say, why can't you see 200? Because you had it in your heart that you'd be happy to sell for 100, and you would accept that price in your heart. That's the level that you should be. So again, this is more than the norm. And if you act like that, you know how honest that type of person is. You're going to be in. Now, Torah says don't have false weights. That's one of the mitzvahs of the Torah. A guy like this, he's not going to have false weights. The Torah says, don't swear falsely. If you're so sensitive in such a thing, again, so this is going to help you keep all the mitzvahs of the Torah. Number 4, l'rogal al Lashonah. Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov, even though the brachos were at stake to get the brachos from his father. And what did Yaakov say? They said, "Ulayim sheni avi." My father's going to touch me. It's going to look like I'm tricking my father. And if I take the brachot, if he touches me and he sees that I'm not Esav, because I'm not Eri. Esav is Eri. So yeah, you have to be like a Yaakov to be honest. He didn't want it. His mother forced him to do it, because she said, "Don't worry, it'll be fine." She saw she had prophecy in Nevuah that Yaakov was supposed to get the brachot. But really, what's the initial? How should you be? I don't want to trick my father. So you have to be a type of person not to take away business from your friend. Your friend has a business, you call up his customers. I want you to take his customers away. Yehuda has a business, and I call up Yehuda's customers. Say, I know you have a bakery, Yehuda, and I know this is your client. He's been buying from you, and I can, I want your account. But Yehuda has it. My friend Yehuda has the account. You're not allowed to do that. Being sensitive, taking away. By the way, in the business world, people don't think about this too much today, and it's a big issue today. Good morning, Avraham. It's a big issue today. People need to know. You know this. Your friend has this account, and you want to take away his customers. So you have to. There's a lot of halakha questions regarding when you're dealing in business, making sure you're not infringing on someone else's business. You'll have it's a small little town, and we have one pizza shop, and I go ahead and I open another pizza shop. Am I allowed to do that? Am I taking away his customers or not? You have to ask the question. Maybe I'm thinking, maybe the town maybe it's a problem. We live in a free society. People think everything goes. Not everything goes, and that's according to the Torah. Doesn't mean that you're allowed to open up the shop and take away from the other guy's parnassah, knock him out of business. Now, you help your so some means that you help your friends that they should not come to embarrassment. Let's say you have relatives that are having difficulty in business, and you help them, you advise them, you give them loans, or the pshat is that you have relatives that are not doing the right thing in life. They're not keeping Shabbat, they're not keeping kashrut, and what do? You help them so they shouldn't be disgraced by their actions. So that shows tremendous sensitivity. Here, nivzeh, someone who is wicked, be'inav nimas. So it's also disgusting in your eyes. Someone who is disgusting in the eyes of Hashem is disgusting in your eyes. Zeh Cheskia melech hamelech. Cheskia hamelech shegire atzmos aviv. When he moved the bones of his father. How did he move? His father was a big rasha, and he went ahead. He didn't give his father the proper. He didn't give him the honor of carrying out his body in a proper coffin, so to speak, or proper. Because his father wasn't deserving because of all his terrible things. He did it. The bones of his father were brought out on a bed, made out of ropes. Because of he wanted to degrade him because of all the terrible things that his father did. He worshipped idols. Now, let's Yirei Hashem Yechabein. Amazing Gemara. The people that fear Hashem, you should be a person that honors the people that fear God. Who is that? Who is an illustration of that? Yehoshaphat, the king of Yehuda. When he saw a Torah scholar, he would get up from his throne, and he would go ahead and embrace him and kiss him. Okay, to be continued tomorrow, everybody. Not tomorrow, sorry. On Wednesday. We're going to finish on Wednesday. Maybe Wednesday and Wednesday night. Wednesday night is a siyum. Everyone save the date, 8:30. 7:30 Wednesday night. And we'll be back Wednesday for the shir, Wednesday morning. Thank you all. Everybody's wives also invited to the siyum Wednesday night.
Purim Sameach, Rabbi.
You too, Michael. We hope to see you Wednesday
That's
night.
Hashem. Thank you, Rabbi. We'll be there.
Prepare a little speech, we hope.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you too.
Have a great day.
Great day. Yosef, Dr. Navid, great day. Nathan, your prayer, a little speech, we hope. No pressure.